Hello everyone, this is RPA Fridays, session number 17. My name is Roman and I am from Robot ICT, a company based in Czech Republic focused on automation in different kind of industries, using not only RPA, but RPA also, which is a robotic process automation. If you want to know more about us, please visit links in the video description. And if you will enjoy this webinar, please give us a like and subscribe. It would mean a lot to us. So now, let's see what we have today. Today's showcase will be about scraping some video views from a playlist from YouTube and adding it into one single report. So imagine you are a YouTuber and you are having some playlist with the videos and you want to every day track if there are any additional views and you want to have your own statistics, and this is just an example, right? So you can also improve it if you would love to. It's also a showcase of RPA technology, of a robotic process automation. So I will show you how to use software called UiPath using some Excel sheet, data scraping, and also activities and manipulation with data tables. So this time it should be pretty easy, and even beginners will be probably able to follow me. I mean, not necessarily now, but you can watch it later and pause it whenever you want and create your own little robot. It will be pretty simple this time. By the way, we also have a community forum, and now there is a competition, a challenge, maybe let's call it a contest. So we do have RPA challenges there. It's doesn't matter what tool you use, but once you complete the challenge, you get the t-shirt. So more information on our community forum, you will not miss it. A link is in the video description. So let's take a look at our use case. So first of all, this will be our source of data, right? So what I will do is to, for example, to scrape all these titles of the videos and go to each video, because I cannot actually get it from there, and check the total number of views of the video. And then once this is done, I would love to have it as a report, right? So I will show you an example of how the report will actually look like. So that will be done in the end of this webinar. It will look something like this. So imagine there will be your videos. I will show you with 5 videos to actually save some time and not to wait so long, but for example, for the demonstration. And then each day I run the robot, there were some views, and these are just numbers I actually generated today, so they are all the same, but never mind. This is how it will look. Okay, here will be name and here will be dates in the column headers. So just that you have an idea what we are about to create. So there are 2 possibilities when you run the robot. The first possibility is that there is no report yet because it's the first run of the robot, or the other possibility is, or the option is, that you already have something like this in place and it's already tomorrow, so you run it again, so there is already some file. So I created a small logical steps to guide you through and then to create the robot. So firstly, we have to check if there is any report. And in case the report is there, we will actually read it and save the content in a data table called report. And in case there is no report, the robot will create this, the first entry, but we will get to it. So once we have this, the next step will be to go to YouTube and scrape the video names and also URLs. I will show you how to do it. This we will save in a data table variable called videos. Easy, okay? I'm using easy conventional naming convention. So for each row in this data table, I will go and visit each of the link and get the number of views from the video. I can do it. I will show you how to do it. And step 3, I want to actually add it to the data table videos for each row. So I will create a new column called views and get the numbers and save it there. As a next step, I will delete the URL column because I don't need it for my next steps. The URL has been used, and I will remove it. Then I will check if there is any report. Then I will actually rename the column that I have to a date. So I will rename views to current date. So it will I can fit it later. So then I will have a decision that I told you about before. So in case there is a report, we have to merge or join, let's say, the report that already exists, the one in data table report from the original file, and the data table videos that we just scraped to one updated data table report. That's one option. Other option is that there is no file yet, and this is our first run of the robot. And in this moment, we just will just saving the data table videos into our Excel file, like a first entry, first input. So let's elaborate on this one on the left side a little bit more. So what I will do is to actually take this. This will be in the data table report on the left side, like videos and already some values. And from the data table videos, that also contains the names, right? And the views that I just scraped, might be tomorrow, I will scrape tomorrow, just the new numbers. I need to join it together so it actually is all nice and neat. Okay, so maybe all these numbers are not really correct there, but you get the idea. So we just need to then add it to the content. So let me just guide you through it. This was a quick intro how I would do it. So let me show you this in UiPath. So I already have my UiPath Studio Pro here opened, and the first thing I want to do is to actually open or create this file. Okay, my project is lying actually here, and there is no file yet. There is no file, and I want to actually read it or create it if it's not there. And I can do it some ways, but the way I found works the best is to using Excel application scope for this purpose. Of course, if you don't have Excel installed, it won't work. You need to find a workaround. But the advantage is that if the file does not exist, it will be automatically created, and we will read it and found that there is nothing, that it's empty. Then it can work. But if you will use read range from workbook activities, you will get an error because the data table as an output will be empty, like no instance of an object will be set in it. Anyways, use Excel application scope and define the name for the output file, which will be called YouTube report.xlsx. So because it doesn't exist yet, and here will be just one single activity, so I can make it nice and neat. Read range from the Excel activities, these ones, right? Don't confuse, it's confusing, but don't mess it. And the sheet one, that will be the name and everything I want. So this is pretty easy, and I want to output it to data table. So this data table will have this name report. So this is where I will store the report. If there is no problem, I will deal with it later, but I want to have it from the beginning ready for later working with it. Usually when there is something that I want to work later, but it takes few activities to read it, I better do it in the beginning of the script, where it's simpler for me to find. So all this, it's kind of like initialization, right? So then we have to actually work with the browser, with this one. So of course you can create like open browser and close it and so on. You can have the robot working really independently. But for this purpose, I will use attach browser activity. So again, if you want a robot that will open it, read it, and close it, then use open browser activity. And then as a last activity in that open browser sequence, use close tab activity. But attach browser will be just fine. So playlist, let's give sometimes some activity a name. So do in browser, so I can distinguish them between each other. And let's indicate the browser on screen. I will click on it. Okay, it's not there. It's kind of hidden. This one. So let me wait. Good. And it should be fine. It also indicated it's Firefox and created a selector that I usually check if there is nothing really strange. Okay, sounds good to me. So it has to have this name, RPA Fridays YouTube. And now the next steps that I want to do is to actually perform a data scraping. So I click this data scraping on the top in UiPath in this ribbon. And then when I click this, it will open the, for some of you, familiar wizard. And it tells me to indicate the first field that I want to scrape. And then actually, preferably the last in collection. I always thought that you have to select the second one because it tells select second element, but actually then it told you that you need to indicate a similar field, preferably the last in collection. So I usually go with the second one because I don't want to scroll really there, and sometimes there are many things. But if from some reason it doesn't work for you and it will not indicate all the elements, then definitely try the last one. So let me indicate the second one, and I'm checking it, and it took all the headers. So I need the names to indicate them. So this will be name. I also will extract URL and call it URL. Lovely, next. This is the preview. And I will set the maximum number of results to 5 for this demonstration purposes. So it's not going through the all 16 videos, which would take some time, and I don't want to take enough time from you. So that's it, finish. It will ask me if there are any pages, more pages. If it's spent, no, there aren't any, and I will clean it up a little bit. I will take just the core activity, cut it, delete this, and paste it here. This is how I do it usually when I'm preparing things around. I don't like to be all this automation. So YouTube names, videos, whatever. And now I'm getting an error. So I need to create a new data table variable in the output, here on the last line, because when you delete all the sequences, it will also delete that variable that it's always also automatically created, and then you have to create yourself, which is even much better because I like to give it my name how I like. So control kill like a king, and let's call it videos. Let's give it simple names like this. So now when I have all the videos and I have URLs to it, now I want to add the column views. Remember from my presentation, this was somewhere there, right? So here is what I will get, and now the next step is to add a new column views, and then go one by one through these videos and actually fill it in, find those views. So I will use an activity called add data column. It's here in my recent activities because I was preparing for it today. And I will put it as a next activity and rename it, or I will put a note here, views, like this. Better like this. And the data table, I have to specify a few things there. Actually, 3. The data table, the first thing, which will be videos, we will be adding this to the table from the data table that we just get. Then the column name, which for now will be views, but later we will rename it, but for now it will be more convenient to actually call it views. I think so, but it's up to you. This is my way how to do it. And then what is important is to set the type argument to integer, int32, because if you leave it like object, it will work, but then in your Excel file you will find these little green arrows telling that it's a number stored not as a number. It doesn't make sense, right? So then you have to convert it to numbers, and it won't work with other things. So I will specify that I want numbers, integers, and it helped me again, like all the activities with type argument, and deleted my name here. So views. Okay, yeah, I don't like this. Anyways, that's all I need to do here. And now we have actually this, right? And it's empty now, so we need to actually fill it somehow. So how we do it? We use the for each row in data table, this really long named activity. And on the right side, we want the name of the data table, videos. And on the left side, I will just make it shorter from current row to row. That's how it was in past, and it's much better. For each video. And let's give this also names. It's nicer. Imagine you give this script to a colleague or somebody will have to repair it after me, then it's better. So it's always good to name it in English, to give it names, to put notes and comments and annotate your stuff. So with each videos, I want to navigate to that URL that I extracted before. So I will go and search for activity called navigate to, drop it in. And now when I was looking at the links, actually, you probably missed it as I missed it before, but the URLs are relative. to the let's say website name. So we have to fill in https://youtube.com with last slash, and then plus row URL dot toString, and like this. This is how I will actually get each URL, and maybe we can even run it now and see if it's working or not. And we will also see that this new file will be created because we ticked, or here is by default create if not exist. So it's always good to test or unit test parts of your code. So I will go on and, oops, what did I do? And run it. Let's see if it will attach the browser and will work. It's better to go in small chunks and just build a bit, test it once again, and so on. So is it doing anything? Yeah, okay, now it was working with Excel, and now it's done. Oh, but that was too fast. Yeah, but okay, we went to video number 12, so something definitely happened. But I wasn't looking at the browser. Good, but we are at video number 12, so it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and actually, if I look at the history, there was something happening. No, there wasn't. Okay, strange. Navigate to. Let's try it once again, because if there is any error, then I want to know about it. Let's check it out. Run, and I will keep an eye on the browser. It should go a little bit faster when you run it for the second time. So now a little Excel thing. Oops. Now data scraping, and oh, okay. I believe I know what happened. So since we just navigated and that was all, the navigate to activity was actually executed so fast that all the 5 rows, 5 iterations were that fast that the browser was not fast enough to actually even indicate them. So maybe if I had some delay, but I will actually add some delay because I want to do there something. Anyway, seems to be working so far. So I need to extract from each video. So let's open some videos. This text. 21. This is RPA Fridays. Okay, lovely. Roman, silent. 21 views. My YouTube is in Czech language, so maybe if you want to do this in your language, this will be different. There will be your translation in how you speak. What is your setup of YouTube? But for me, I will need to actually work with what is there. So how to do it? Activity get text is handy. You need this one. Get text, simple. And then click indicate element inside browser. And let's see what we can get. Okay, can we get the number itself? No, really. We need the one with the text. So there I will have to do some string operations. Anyways, let's rename this. Views, good. And probably let's save it. We can directly save it to the column, to the cell, but I want to actually work with it a little bit more. So I will create a new variable here called views and save it to it. And then I will use a little magic in assign. And on the left side, there will be already, I will be writing it into the data table. So row views. This is how you do it. If you want to change in that row, when you are in for each row, when you want to change some cell in some column, you can do it easily like that. So now I will use a little trick on that text, right? Because here is this zhlédnutí. So I need to do some split, blah, blah, blah. But because I am lazy and I have a little helping window on the other side, I already worked on it and prepared it for myself. So this is how it will look like. Split function will split the text by this keyword, which is always the same, and that means that at the first position, which I'm getting by using the 0 in brackets here, will be the one before zhlédnutí. The last thing that I'm doing here is to replace the thousands, because when there are, I don't know, 34,000 views, it will not actually give the exact number, but it will round it to thousands, and it will use this acronym of tisíc, which is in Czech thousands, to actually replace this text and use zeros instead of it. So also, if your videos have millions of views, then you need to do something like replace and use millions. Just test it, try it, and check it. But this should work. So cut words, leave numbers. And that's pretty much like we are in half. So now we have this done. And the next step is to delete the URL column, because we don't need the URL. We just, the URL was used here and we don't need it. So we will continue by adding here a new activity called remove data column. Come on. It's not working really much. And that's URL. Good. From the data table on the right side, that's called videos. And the column name is URL. And the last thing I have to do is to rename the column name of views to the date. That's today. That's the next step. This one. So how I can do it? Well, it's pretty simple. I will use assign activity once again. And on the left side, I go with name of the data table, which is videos, then columns, then the name of the column I want to rename, views, and then dot column name, like this. This will be the left part. And on the right side, the new name. And the new name will consist from the date. So on the right side, it will be like date time now toString, and the format of this toString, which will be in my logic how I want to do it, DD like days, big MMs, and small Ys for the year. And that's it. But easy. Let's rename it so we know what's going on. Rename column name to date. And we're almost done, almost there. Now we have to decide. So now this is ready, okay? This is ready. We have a name, we have a date, and we have the numbers in. So the report is done. Now we have to only settle it down if we have already some report there or not. So we have to check if there is anything in the report file. If the report file was just created, it will be empty. So how we check it? So we don't have to do it in a browser actually. So actually we couldn't. We didn't have to do even this in browser, but doesn't matter. I will just continue over there and use an if condition, if puts, and let's check if the data table report dot columns dot count is 0. That means if there are 0 columns, then most likely there is no data. Right, so if report table is empty, and when I say empty, when I write table, I mean data table. So we need both branches. So let's firstly think about the first one, and it will be pretty easy. So let's put a log message. That's also good practice to do when you have any decision in your flow, in your code. Every time you have a then, else, or a switch or anything, put a log message as a first thing on both sides, so you know where the bot was going. When you will just see the logs, simply, it's much better. And also, more log messages, better debugging later. So, brand new file. Let's enter first entry, something like that. Let's put also one log message here. So adding just new views, let's say. And then here I want to use right range from workbook activities this time, because yeah, I don't need the Excel ones. And also it's always good to keep names of sequences different, not first, but first report. And this is already a name of the file that I was using here, so I can copy it from the top, from the beginning. Sheet 1 is fine, A1 is fine, and the data table will be just videos. So what I will get, okay, videos are not declared, because videos, I lost videos somewhere there, and it's not accessible. So I need to use this one. Oh, this is called sequence. Okay, let's call it at least main sequence, so we know this is main sequence. Okay, now it's all good. Right range, insert first report. So what I will get to my file, and I will show you just now, will be this with the date. So let's try to run it, and I'm pretty sure it will go here, unless it will go there, which I will know because I put log messages here, and we should get the report there easily. So I will go back to the playlist, so it's ready for the robot, and let's try this first branch. Let's try the, well, we cannot say it's happy path or not happy path, unhappy path, it's just one path. So let's see if this works, and if the column will have the date and the name, and if there will be just pure number. So my hands are off the keyboard, and now a robot is working. It will take 5 videos. Remember, I just put the limit there, so we are not waiting eternal ages there, since this can take some time. So now it goes using navigate to activity to the first URL, getting the number here from below the video. Then it will go to the second URL, and you can actually meanwhile check what other interesting videos are there in our RPA Fridays webinar. And since I'm streaming, it's a little bit slow-ish, but you can see it's working really fine. And you can think about some use cases for this, maybe other scraping of links and going one by one and getting some information, for example, from, I don't know, eBay, or from some stock market articles, Twitter, whatever. And once this will be done, there should be a new file filled with the first report, and also the log message will tell me. So this should be the 5th one, and there we go. So let's check the logs. Brand new file. Let's enter first entry. Seems good to me, and there is the file, and it also has some data inside, since it's 10 kilobytes. So I believe we will find something there. Okay, it's lovely, but I'm missing one little thing. And those who are familiar with UiPath, you probably know, but it's working great and I like it. So I'm missing the header, right? And that's the pain of these activities, because the read range activity has the add headers usually ticked like true as by default, and the write range doesn't have it. So I have to put add headers here. But instead of running it once again, I will just help myself and simulate what would happen, so we don't waste time. And this will be name, and here will be a date. And on purpose, I will put different date. For example, like let's say this was yesterday, so 26th of August 2021. This is how we write dates in Czech Republic. It's pretty nice. I like dots. Anyways, and these are the numbers. So this was the branch, but now there will be, if I will run it now, once again, it would go to this branch because there will be already some columns. So what we have to do here is to use one nice trick, and that's activity called join data tables. Join data tables, this one. Good. Once I have a sequence, I definitely have to rename it, and the join data tables works pretty fine. You click on the button join wizard, and you specify few things. First, input data table 1 will be report. Input data table 2 will be videos. Okay, it's helping me. And the output data table can be one of them. Yeah, like so you don't create another one if you want to just keep it in one of them. So I will keep it in report, so I don't create a new one. Well, you can actually create a brand new and save it. And this is what I actually demonstrated on one of the next slides, this one on the left side. And this is what will happen. You can pause it here if you want to see more, but I believe it's pretty obvious. Anyways, let's do it. So it will be a left join type. So it means from the first data table, the data will stay, and the other will be adjusted based on the condition. And the condition will be that it will put together those lines by name, column name 1 name, where it equals to column name in the table 2. Yeah, think about it like a logic of joining the tables. When you see there is one table report and there is another one, videos, and they both have one thing in common, and that's this column with the names. So once there is this join, it will connect the data in a way that the rows will fit where the names fit. So eventually, and I didn't test it, if I would flip or change some order of the text from the first from the report, it should be able to match it as matched by the name. So but if you would change it, then it will not work, right? So it has to match exactly the name of the videos. So if you will change the name of the videos, this could get confusing. But this is example. The rest is on you. You have to fight for your robots. Never mind. Let's go on. And I'm having this, and I click OK. And what will happen is, actually, I will tell you, and I will just create a next step to solve what will just happen, is that the column name from the table 1 and table 2 will be the two same names, which is kind of something that is a no-go for data tables in UiPath. If you will have a Excel table with columns with the same names, it will give you definitely an error. So one of the columns will be automatically renamed to name_1. I know it because I tested it, but I don't want to show you. It's too complicated. So I want to use again the activity remove data column and just get rid of it so it's nice and neat. So get of name_1. Data table will be report, and the column name is name_1. This is how it should be. I'll just double check it. Yeah, good. So and that's it. Now we can write the result. So I will just steal this right range from here because most of the things will stay the same. Most of them. Just, of course, I will give it a different name. And this will take the data from the original report that we updated or amended with new data and just write it from the first cell once again fully. So, but I have to change this from videos to report. So we updated the data table report before. So this should work, and now we can try it. I will go back to the initial stage here, and let's run it. And meanwhile, when I'm running this as a last test, you can think about anything that went through come to your mind when you were watching this, and ask me for questions in the chat, and I will answer them just in a minute. So hold thumbs to my bot. If I made a mistake, you will see it soon, and I will be ashamed. But you will see if we have the report updated. By the way, we had advanced the Excel data manipulation, as you saw, topic a week ago and 2 weeks ago. And in one of them, and I will not tell you, so you can watch both of them, I'm showing how to create a chart from data in Excel using UiPath and using some of the activities. So if you will have a lot of data here from your videos and you will run your robot every day, you want to have these statistics input in, then you can also add to this project a small piece of code that will create a nice chart for you automatically, which I believe is pretty neat, but it's upon your needs. Reports are always necessary, so numbers everywhere. So let's see how this will go, and I hope you are now thinking about some questions. If you are watching this from the recording, like later, and it's not live, then of course ask questions in comments. And yeah, I encourage you to do so. So it should be almost done. This is the last video from the 5. You now probably understand why I pick 5 of them, because it takes some time when I'm streaming and the browser is not that flexible. And let's check it out if we have new data there. And I believe this is what I wish to see. So there is a today's date, because I put this one as yesterday, and there are the numbers. And I can run it once again, and actually it will work, because the join section, the join activity works like this. If there are 2 columns with the same name, it will create the column with the name and _1. So if now I would run it once again. What would happen is that I will get this column once again, but it will have a name _1 like this, right? If you're wondering what will happen, but you can try it. By the way, I did not upload it yet, but hopefully later when you will watch this from recording, there will be a link in the video description. So check it if it's there, and you can download the source code from there. I was a little bit busy recently, but eventually watch it. It was half an hour and I explained it pretty nicely. So you can watch it, pause it, and check it once again. So this was reporting videos from YouTube. I hope you enjoyed that. And now, time for your questions. Okay. So there are no questions so far. Thank you, Philip, for your feedback. And yes, so if there is anybody who wants to ask me anything later, then please type in comments, and I'm usually answering pretty fast, within days. And once again, I want to remind you that we have a funny t-shirt contest on our community forum. Links are in the video description. If you love it, please hit the like button, subscribe, and so on. You know it. Thank you for your attention, and please sign up for RPA Fridays if you loved it. And I wish you happy automation, lovely day, and your robots to be working